We pretty much agree on that. So where do you want to go next?
We go to AFC South. This one's
kind of hard for me.
This is a tough one. I mean, this division used to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of had a turnaround. But you go ahead.
I mean, personally, this is how I have it. I have the Titans winning the division. I have the Texans coming in second, the Colts in third, and the Jaguars are a dumpster fire. So the Jaguars are probably going to get the first pick next year, in my opinion. They don't even need to be discussed. The Colts, Jacoby Brissett, I understand they won games with Jacoby Brissett, and Phillip Rivers, is, in my opinion, is pretty much similar to that. I don't think Phillip Rivers is anything spectacular anymore. He doesn't have an arm. I don't know if any of you saw him trying to throw a ball last year. It was awful. The dude just chucks the ball up. He doesn't have the arm power anymore. So I don't think the Colts got any better with Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. They did get upgrades on the defensive side with DeForest Buckner, and then they got Jonathan Taylor also, which is a big upgrade too for the running backs. Mm-hmm. But I just don't like Phillip Rivers that much. And I understand you don't like Tannehill, but the Titans defensively are really good, and I like Tannehill more than I like Phillip Rivers. And then they have Derrick Henry also. And I still think the Texans. I still think the Texans. I don't know. I have the Titans winning the division, but I could see the Texans winning the division.
Yeah. So I also think the Colts are a little overhyped with Rivers, and I have the Colts getting third.
Yep.
Although I do agree with you that Rivers is. I mean, he hasn't looked good.
He doesn't look the same.
Last year, I mean, he started off last year okay, and then he kind of fell off. Yeah. But at the same time, though, like, he's always pushing the envelope because, I mean, his mentality is just like, all right, I'm going to go for it. Like, I got to carry my team. Like, this has to happen. But now you put him on the Colts with a really good offensive coach, a really good offensive line. He doesn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. So maybe he kind of tones it down a little bit and he's makes the smarter plays. Maybe. But I don't know. The way I see it, he's another year older. And I like the other teams in that division more, like the Titans and the Texans. Yeah. And I have the Texans winning the division. Okay. I think they're going to surprise some people because their win total set at 7.5. They're being slept on. Okay? Because if you look at it, they have the same defense that they did last year. Okay? Mm-hmm. They have Deshaun Watson, who's a top 5 quarterback. They have they traded DeAndre Hopkins. It was a dumb trade, to say the least. But they got Brandon Cooks, right?
Yep. And David Johnson, who I think
is a solid pickup. Who might have something left in the tank. We'll see. But I also think that their pass protection has gotten a lot better ever since they traded for Tunsil. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna gel even more this year, that offensive line. Okay. And I don't know, man. I just think that between the win total and them being projected to be third in the division, I think a lot has to. I think the DeAndre Hopkins trade has a lot to do with it, and it just being kind of like an emotional, like, WTF, you know, and people reacting to it and be like, they're gonna stink this year.
I don't think they're gonna stink.
They're really not. They're not. Even how much are they even worse than they were last year? Like, on paper, I know they lost Hopkins, but he's a great talent and all, but if you're Deshaun Watson, aren't you staring him down a little bit? If you get kind of
maybe he's like a little bit biased.
Maybe he won't be holding the ball as long and just forcing it to Hopkins. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at the Texans. I'm like, they're being a little underrated.
I just like the Titans, man, because they didn't lose anyone from last year. They didn't lose much from last year, should I say. Then they signed Jadeveon Clowney, which they got recently. And their O-line is still really good. As well. They have Derrick Henry. I know you're not a huge fan of Tannehill, but Tannehill's definitely a serviceable quarterback, and he showed that he has something left. You know, he's gotten on it. Technically, if you look year by year, he's done nothing but improve. So
maybe he is good.
I have the Titans winning the division, but I can see the Texans winning the division. But I have both those teams making the playoffs. I just don't like the Colts, man. I'm just not huge on Phillip Rivers. Yeah, I'm not sold on him. Especially after last year.
Yeah, so I've got the Titans in second also.
Okay. So, if you look at my paper, I have literally arrows. So it's like interchangeable with the Titans, Texans. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. Yeah. But personally, I think the Titans will.
You know, the Jags, though, I know you think they're going to be shit.
They're a dumpster fire.
Look, I mean, have you seen their schedule, though? Pull it up. Pull up their schedule. Pull up their schedule. Look,
The Jacksonville Jaguars win total is 4.5. By the way, according to Vegas,
I mean, I would smash the over.
you would smash the over. How many games do you have them winning?
I think they'll win 5-6 games, maybe. Look, they have Gardner Minshew, who's pretty good. He had a really good rookie.
Minshew's solid. I like Minshew.
Minshew is solid. And they got rid of all the people that didn't want to be there. Jalen Ramsey didn't want to be there. Yannick Ngakoue didn't want to be there. Leonard Fournette, he didn't want to be there either. Okay, so they got rid of all those guys.
Winnable games, I see. I could see him splitting with the Colts. I could see him splitting with the Colts, right?
Okay.
So that's one win. I could see him beating the Dolphins. I could see him maybe splitting with the Texans. Maybe. That's just maybe. If I'm being generous, I'll give him one more win there. They're not beating the Packers. They're not beating the Browns.
Look, they're going to win at least 2 division games. That's for sure.
Okay, so we'll give them the 2. And then we'll give them the Dolphins. So that's 3. Maybe the Bengals. So that's 4.
Right.
And then they have the Lions.
They could beat the Chargers. I think that's a winnable
The Chargers
game.
are winnable. And then maybe we could say the Lions are winnable. So that's 6.
The Bears.
I don't think they're beating the Bears.
The Bears are a winnable game. A lot of these games are winnable.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But I don't know, man.
Okay. I guess we'll see, man. I guess we'll see.